जितने सारे घोटाला हुआ है, जितने सारे स्कैम है, इसका पीछे पूरा ममता बनर्जी का हाथ है। ममता बनर्जी क्यों अरेस्ट नहीं होगा?
ममता बनर्जी इतनी कच्ची खिलाड़ी नहीं है, पूरा तैयारी करते हैं, पूरी घटना उनको मालूम है।
সত্যিটা যদি কেউ দোষী প্রমাণিত হয় তাকে যাবজ্জীবন কারাদণ্ড দিলেও আই ডোন্ট মাইন্ড।
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The Bengal SSC scam continues to sting the Trinamool Congress as the BJP hammers the Bengal government, accusing it of brazen corruption, namely after the stunning seizure of over 20 crore from West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee's aide Arpita Mukherjee. Just look at those cash that was stashed at her home. Chatterjee, currently serving as Industries Minister, was the state's education minister when the alleged scam took place, was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate on Saturday after being questioned for more than 26 hours. In fact, the ED claimed it had recovered enough incriminating evidences to link Chatterjee to the SSC scam and to Arpita Mukherjee when the raids found several admit cards of SSC job aspirants, a merit list of SSC Group C and Group D staff, and a list of 48 names of job aspirants in upper primary levels in schools. The agency says, prima facie, these names seem to be recommendations for jobs sent from various districts of West Bengal, alleging that there was a price tag to make it to Partha Chatterjee's list. In fact, CNN News 18 has also accessed a stunning memo which indicates that before his arrest, Chatterjee desperately tried to reach out to his party supremo Mamata Banerjee and called her 4 times. But the chief minister did not take his calls. The BJP claims that this shows that Mamata Banerjee was clearly aware of the scam and is trying to insulate herself from the controversy as more and more evidence comes to light. In fact, today, Mamata Banerjee broke a silence, not even defending Partha Chatterjee. She said, "Don't drag my name into this controversy." She called for a time-bound probe, even saying that if Partha Chatterjee is guilty, he should be given life imprisonment. But is this defense of Mamata Banerjee coming too little, too late? With such glaring evidence, including recoveries from Partha Chatterjee's own home, has that blunted the charge of vendetta politics? In fact, a piece of breaking news that is coming in on the top of the show now. Enforcement Directorate sources telling CNN News 18 that Partha Chatterjee will be staying at AIIMS-Bhubaneswar tonight, and he will be going back with the ED team to Kolkata only tomorrow morning. Let me bring in my guests now. Bharti Ghosh, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Shashi Panja, Cabinet Minister of West Bengal. We also have Swati Malik, spokesperson of the Congress, NK Singh, former Joint Director of CBI, Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist. Dr. Panja, I'm going to begin with you. With so much evidence from documents to cash being seized, why is Partha Chatterjee continuing as Industries Minister? Because Mamata Banerjee says that her party and she has nothing to do with him. Dr. Panja, if you can hear me, we'll try and fix that line with Shashi Panja. NK Singh, I'm just trying to understand, sir, given the nature of charge that is there, could a scam of this magnitude have taken place without the knowledge of the top legislative officer, which is the chief minister?
Well, it is very difficult to presume so. You know, in a case, criminal case, investigation is done on the basis of evidence. And any charge can be leveled only on the basis of the result of the investigation indicating evidence against a person. Right. Now, at this stage, ultimately what will happen, well, I cannot say. The investigation has just started. But at this stage, to lay blame directly on Mamata Banerjee as being done by some of the central ministers also, which I feel is palpably wrong, because the matter is being inquired into, investigated by ED, which is a central agency. and the central ministers have started making judgmental comments on the case. That is not proper. You know, Chief Justice of India recently, only a few days back, he commented on that media trial, kangaroo trial, or that sort of a thing. Now, I can say this much. I have been watching the development since yesterday. At this stage, we cannot say that Mamata Banerjee is liable for what has been found, or the mold of cash, huge cash. It's very shocking, no doubt. In my whole career of police and the CBI, I have never come across such a mold of notes. This is very shocking. But let the investigation be done. At the moment, you know, for instance, I was a little surprised. Before arresting Arpita, from where this cash was found, the minister was arrested. Well, first of all, she should have been arrested. She should have been interrogated. And only when interrogation revealed direct complicity of the minister, his arrest should come next, after that. So these are the things which are happening. In any case, answering your question, well, at this stage, I cannot, for instance, say that the buck stops at the door of Mamata Banerjee and she can be held responsible right at this stage. What will happen in future after investigation? I cannot.
Raising some valid points, certainly on the nature of investigation and entire process being followed there by the investigating agency. Dr. Panja, before we lost that line with you, the question that I'd asked was, with so much evidence from documents to cash that has been seized, my question is, if Mamata Banerjee says, why is the question being asked to her, then question will be asked as to why is Partha Chatterjee continuing as the industry's minister? Shouldn't he have been sacked by now?
You see, first of all, I am sorry I couldn't join in earlier, somehow disconnected, but there seems to be a malicious campaign against the chief minister. Now, these days, when we are joining in for debates, when you all are reporting about these incidents, there is a lot of perception which is building. And there is a tendency to develop this perception to hold somebody accountable and guilty even before the verdict has been announced. So we are not defending anybody. The All India Trinamool Congress came out on the very first day on 22nd July after the stupendous rally that we had on 21st of July, saying that we are not defending anybody. We don't know the lady. The cash has been found in her home. She's not a TMC member. She's not elected from the TMC. We don't know her. And vis-a-vis Partha Chatterjee, Honorable Minister, what we wish to say is that there is a difference between saying that somebody is being accused of and somebody who is guilty of. Now, this is all. So we are not defending. Chief Minister very clearly today in her speech said that the moment that we have a zero tolerance to malpractice, and the moment there is evidence, because the ED is investigating, we will take due course.
So far, ma'am, the Chief Minister and all of you had been saying that there's misuse of central agencies, that if anything, this is some kind of witch hunt. I'm going to, talk about what the court had said only yesterday, and I think it's very serious. Justice Chaudhary said, under such background and considering the fact that the accused is the senior most cabinet minister in the state of West Bengal, having immense power and position, it would not be impossible for the accused, with the aid of other political executives, to take shelter under the garb of serious illness and medical treatment to evade interrogation. That is the reason he was sent to Bhubaneswar. But because he is powerful, why is he continuing in office? My question is this: if Mamata Banerjee has said clearly that if he is guilty, he will be punished, then why is he continuing as a minister?
Ma'am, these are observations of the Honorable High Court.
Yes.
And we respect the Honorable High Court. But somehow we feel that, as she said, that let there be a fast-track court. I mean, we also don't want a media trial or a kind of a trial continuously, perceptions, opinions, everything. We also want a very fast-track court on and let the probe be very fast and pronounce the verdict. Because we have seen various cases which have lingered on. So basically, that is where it comes that there's a misuse of the agencies. Because there is a very low conviction rate vis-a-vis CBI or ED. there are lots of harassment. You keep chasing.
Yes, so
You keep
let him
chasing.
come
But
clean.
this-
Till that time, he
So-
should be asked to leave his position, because that's a
On basis
power. That's a
of-
position of power and authority.
No, on basis of allegations, you mean?
Because he
On
is
basis of
he
allegations.
is currently in
No,
custody.
yes, of course. It is. You see, he was also being interrogated with CBI by the CBI. He has extended full cooperation. So somehow, we feel that yes, there is a witch hunt.
Okay.
And what is the there's a continuous harassment.
Okay.
So he
Bharti
is
Ghosh,
responding. He's
before
cooperating.
you joined in, an important point was being made by NK Singh there, that why are senior ministers of your cabinet sitting in judgment and saying that the buck stops with the chief minister? There is no evidence directly linking the entire scam to the chief minister's doorsteps.
Yes, if you are looking for hard evidence that the CBI and the ED will probably bring in the next few months. But what is very important is that for the last 496 days, thousands of students sat on the footsteps of Gandhiji and Matungini Hajra, demanding justice, saying that they were deprived, and tears flowed. There were public outcry, public display of grievance, and then the Honorable High Court came in, saying in express observation that Partha Chatterjee cannot be kept out of the dragnet of CBI. Even then, the police minister, being the chief minister of the state, did not conduct any inquiry into any investigation into what is happening. Why are hundreds of thousands of students being empaneled and meritorious, being deprived and their future sacrificed in lieu of that money, that huge money, which has now been discovered in the residence of Arpita Mukherjee? And you will be surprised to know that with that money has come closed envelopes marked to School Service Commission, marked to Education Department, hundreds of, what do I say, those closed envelopes, and it is a clear scam of a School Service Commission.
it may
and
be a
with that
scam,
money,
but why accuse the chief minister? What is the evidence that is there against the chief minister?
What is the Raj Dharma of a chief minister in a country? What is the Raj Dharma of a chief minister in a state? When hundreds of thousands of students are crying, tears are flowing, and the High Court is making express observation after looking into the documents
Shashi
that
Pandya?
yes, there has been irregularity,
Dr.
yes,
Shashi
there has
Pandya?
been a corruption, yes,
Okay,
we
Dr.
have to
Shashi
find
Pandya.
the money
The
trace.
Raj Dharm. I heard.
The question is of Raj Dharm.
I heard a
What
very
was the
important.
chief minister
I
doing?
heard a
What
very
is the role of
important
the chief
term about
minister in the
Raj
country? What is
Dharm,
the role of the chief
which
minister in
was
the
so
state?
importantly
May I
spoken by
stand for
the
attention?
Prime
For the
Minister,
attention
who
of
is
our
now
TMC
not with us,
counterpart,
Atal
to what
Bihari
happened in
Vajpayee,
Gujarat when
reminding.
Arpita
I thought the question was for me. Why is she answering? What is she saying? You see, Bharati, please do not allow cacophony out here. This is not a cacophony. Please, the question was for me. From
Bharti
Maria
Ghosh,
Shakil.
you have
Sir,
used
please
that
do not
phrase.
allow a
Let her
cacophony.
respond now. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
He may
No.
influence. He is in a position to
No,
stay at
I'm
the
saying
SSK hospital.
while you are
Also,
making all the charge,
hospital.
there has been recovery of cash. I understand all that. But why bring in Mamata Banerjee?
No.
You see,
The
Mamata
point.
Banerjee is the senior most
Again, you are
cabinet
asking
minister.
her.
And the state
The Raj
minister-
Dharam.
Raj Dharam of Mamata Banerjee.
I hope
to
that
order
Raj
an
Dharam
inquiry.
is
Okay.
also being
But
obeyed
there
by
was
the
a-
Honorable
there
Prime
was a
Minister.
fight-
Now, who is asking us questions? BJP for the last to ask what moral high ground do they have? What moral high ground do they have? Please ask her, Maria Shakil, why is Shubhendu Adhikari not being questioned? Why is Shubhendu Adhikari not being questioned by CBI and ED? He was caught on camera in the Narada scam. Why is he not being questioned? And not only that, why does BJP keep silent on this?
Okay.
Why does the BJP
Bharti
leadership
Ghosh,
keep silent on
Bharti
this?
Ghosh, you are sounding incoherent
Maria
now.
Shakil,
Bharti Ghosh, you're sounding incoherent by constantly talking, not making the point that, or responding to my question. I'd asked a specific question and you did not respond to it. The charge that is also no, ma'am. Listen to me.
May I respond? May I respond?
Please be patient.
Maria
I do not
Shakil,
like this kind of tutu meme on my show. I have had a very dignified discussion on my shows all the time. I expect you to follow the same process and protocol, please. Yes, Shashi Panja, respond 30 seconds.
Yes, that's all that is left of me, because somebody was mentioning about Raj Dharam. Now, BJP, I mean, they don't have any moral high ground to talk about Raj Dharam, because Raj Dharam was not followed by the present Prime Minister. So, Mamata Banerjee has very categorically said, I want to ask which BJP Chief Minister of any state in India, or even the Honorable Prime Minister, questions his own people. But Mamata Banerjee questions. And she has said that if found guilty, I will take the action, necessary action. So BJP does not need to lecture us about it.
Okay.
Those who have an ideology of toppling government in lieu of cash, they should not be asking these questions.
I'm going to go back to the spokespersons in just a bit. But Shikha Mukherjee, Mamata Banerjee has faced a charge of a number of scams, chit fund, Narda and Sharda scams, and still she secured a stunning victory in the last elections. Do you think all these charges of this nature, when it comes as close as her ministers being involved, her MPs being questioned, what does it do really in terms of the perception against the Chief Minister? Does it really change the dynamics?
Well, as far as the dynamics are concerned, going by the past choices made by voters, they have voted people who were in CBI custody for a long while back, and with decent majorities. So it is very difficult to understand how the public is going to, what sense the public is going to make of this stacks of money being found in the house of a close associate of Partha Chatterjee. But I think that one of the things that is not being discussed at all today, especially by the opposition, and especially by the BJP as the opposition, because this is the really most sensitive issue, that Mamata Banerjee, as well as every state across the country, which is also facing recruitment scams, and there seem to be recruitment scams galore in this country. Every state has one or more. Mamata Banerjee is going to have to deal with the fact that a recruitment scam is actually a problem of unemployment, and the desperation of lakhs of young educated people who are looking for stable, decent, respectable employment. And whatever moves she makes now is going to impact the young voter, and the young voter in this country makes up the bulk of the votes.
So, Shikha Mukherjee, you're talking about the larger unemployment issue, but because SSC scam has deep roots in terms of the larger messaging and also those images of cash, what will it actually do to a Chief Minister who has managed a stunning victory only recently, despite her closest aides, I would say, facing the charge of Narda and Sharda, is the larger question also. And guessing, before I go back to the politicians for the final words, you say that there is no evidence at present, but look at the entire timeline of this case, sir. And at multiple stages, it has been said clearly that several influential people have been named in this case. Chatterjee has been questioned by the CBI on multiple occasions. There are enough evidence of crores of money being, spent perhaps for appointment of teachers and recruitments. But the scam of this nature, do you think we are far away from a slam dunk case? Time and again, we have seen raids and charges, but despite the evidence, would you say that there is a long legal road ahead?
Well, that's the legal road ahead should not be very long. That is the problem. Such scams or allegations or charges must be investigated with speed and finalized and sent to the court. And the test of pudding lies in conviction. Let us not forget that the conviction rate of ED is very, it is minus something, -1. And the selective use of ED and its credentials, the type of extensions that were given to ED director. I'm sorry to say all this, but these are all facts, which was also looked into judicially. So I'm not saying that there is no evidence in the case. Certainly, the house, the Arpita, from whose house with huge cash, it was shocking, was recovered. There is something. The envelopes are there. All that is written there. Partha Chatterjee, well, it appears to be, it appears that he has to be investigated. Suppose this cash would have been recovered from his house, straight away I would have said that he appears involved and he should be removed from the cabinet. But at this stage, the cash, from where it was recovered, and then its link with...
so then in that case, you're still of the opinion that removing the top minister is not is legally all right or morally all right?
Well, I think it would be little hasty. Waiting for the trial to conclude and him to be convicted will be too late as that, that will be...
But propriety...
But some further facts should come out.
But propriety demands...
because after all, ED's credentials, I'm sorry...
Okay, that point. Bharti Ghosh, here is a joint CBI director raising questions on the conviction rate of the Enforcement Directorate, which the truth is that it is abysmally low. But Bharti Ghosh, look at the opposition, which is now clearly saying that there is misuse of central agencies. There is an AAP minister who is in ED custody. The Arvind Kejriwal has clearly said, and the AAP government is saying that they will not be sacking him. He continues to be a minister. And another stand that has been taken by Mamata Banerjee, that he will continue to be industries minister. Do you not realize that by making it political rather than being, making the argument purely on the basis of investigation, you are actually undermining the investigating agencies and their entire investigation, the entire process?
Actually, whatever you're saying would have sounded very sweet, would have sounded very nice, had not the 21 crores, the foreign currencies, the jewelries and properties of the minister and joint holding of property with Arpita Mukherjee and the admit cards of the School Service Commission of 2016 been recovered from Arpita Mukherjee's house. Had all these not happened, then whatever you're saying would have sounded very sweet and also reasonable. But having discovered what is there and having found what the minister has done over 496 days, almost close to 500 days, on one hand, the innocent, hundreds of thousands of students on the road crying out that they did not have money and could not get their jobs, being empaneled and meritorious. And on the other hand, all these things being discovered, including the SSC envelopes and the admit cards and money, cash, jewelry. Now all these statements, that we are innocent, we need proof. Why don't you go the Amit Shahji way, and why don't the minister resign, and why doesn't he face a free and fair investigation?
Professor Shashi Panja,
are you afraid?
Do you think the recovery of cash makes his position untenable? And the entire explanation and counter-explanation that you're trying to defend, it's almost becoming indefensible. How do you defend this?
No, Mariaji, much appreciate the timelines that you were mentioning about, because quite true that the timelines that we see are showing that all leaders of opposition-ruled states are being targeted. We would really, it would have sounded so sweet, as she said, it would really sound sweet if in Karnataka, the scam, B.S. Yadurappa, Narayan Rane, Hemant Biswa Sarma, Suvendu Adhikari in this state, on similar allegations, ministers were arrested and jailed, but on the similar allegation, still now, and also with evidence, Suvendu Adhikari is yet to be questioned. So this is why it would have sounded sweet if we saw that, law was allowed to follow, or the CBI and ED, which have hence been weakened and have been used as a carrot or a stick. Even in Maharashtra, we saw 16 Shiv Sena MLAs being sent ED notices. What does this show? It just exposes the nakedness. Allow them to function, give them the autonomy, but no. So the sweetness is gone. It's very sour.
Dr. Pandya, but if your party boss has taken the high moral ground, then why not sack him? You can get him back, reinstate him if he comes clean.
Bam, don't you think that you would really want the investigation to go to be him to be found guilty? Wouldn't that be the right justice to be done? I mean, we want the investigation to be completed and let him be pronounced guilty. Only then, how can you just on the basis of accusations and to be pronounced guilty? They're two different things. There is a demarcation between them. I am not defending anybody. The party is not defending anybody. Chief Minister is not defending anybody. She has said that ministers, my workers, be it anybody, will have to face the consequences if found guilty. Which party has said in this country? Leave alone the ruling dispensation.
Okay. All right. Dr. Shashi Pandya, thank you so much for your time. Shikha Mukherjee, Bharti Ghosh and N.K. Singh, shifting focus to the entire furore over seating arrangement during the swearing-in ceremony of the 15th President of India.
Was given allotted seat in the first row, and when he complained that it is in the corner, then the staff who were there, they arranged something and requested him to come in the middle of the hall. He refused that. The intention shows that they want to make issue out of a non-issue.
Shifting focus to the second discussion, a fresh face-off has erupted between the centre and opposition over the seating arrangement at President Draupadi Murmu's swearing-in event. She is the 15th President of India, and the nation achieved a major milestone by electing the first tribal president of the nation. What should have been a great moment without any politics, what should have been a moment of political unity, saw petty politics. A fresh face-off has erupted between the centre and the opposition over the seating arrangement at President Murmu's swearing-in event. Opposition parties wrote a letter to the Rajya Sabha chairman alleging disrespect to Congress leader and leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge. The opposition alleged that Kharge was made to sit in a seat not equivalent with the position he holds. While the Congress has termed this a deliberate disrespect by the government, the BJP has hit back at the Congress with a video of former President Pranab Mukherjee's swearing-in ceremony in 2012, which shows then leader of opposition Arun Jaitley sitting in exactly the same spot as current LOP Mallikarjun Kharge. So why was this made an issue when the nation was scripting history? Was the oath ceremony trivialized by this? Joining me on the show, Nasir Hussain, Congress MP, Shehzad Poonawala, spokesperson of the BJP. I'm going to begin with you, Shehzad. The opposition says that there is disrespect. Couldn't there have been efforts to make this more of an inclusive event?
You see, Maria, the problem with these people is संविधान संसद का अपमान बन गई है कांग्रेस की पहचान, and all of these मुद्दास ये केवल बहाना है संसद को लटकाना है, राहुल गांधी को भाग जाना है, मुद्दों पर नहीं आना है. Now tell me about this issue. First, their issue was lion गुस्सा क्यों है. Second issue was expunged list word was there. It was called as word ban list. Dharna issue was there.
Since you talked about the lion, I want to know, अगर lion गुस्सा है तो आपने क्या किया फिर? What effort did you make to ensure that they believe that the lion is not angry?
The problem is, Maria, that they are better at face reading of lion, not face reading of जनता. This is the problem. ये जनता की भावनाओं को नहीं समझते, lion की भावना को समझ गए. तो problem यही है कि इनके मुद्दों की कंगाली है, इसलिए झूठों की थाली है. मैं आपको उदाहरण देता हूँ. The issue of price rise was being discussed even in the last session. भाग गए. उससे पहले monsoon session में when we were saying let's have a discussion on COVID, भाग गए. In fact, they assaulted the marshals also. Now let's come to this issue today. What is the real issue? Not the issue of the people. The issue is Khadge ji ko wahan par kyun bitaya. This is the fact check of that. The fact check is that Arun Jaitley ji was given the same place in 2012 which has been given to Mallikarjun Kharge. In fact, I would like to know that on Saturday when there was a farewell program, at that time there was a seat kept for Mr. Kharge in Prime Minister, but he chose not to come. That is disrespect of the presidential post. And I'll tell you why they would do this. They do this because, Maria, these people are the products of Parivar Tantra, and those who believe in Parivar Tantra can never ever celebrate Lok Tantra. Today was an achievement of Lok Tantra. These people are crying about Parivar Tantra, and therefore they have said that Sansad is not platform for Samvad, it is a platform for Vivad. They don't want consensus, they want confrontation, they don't want discussion, they want disruption. I'll just show you one final evidence. This is Jairam Ramesh's tweet. In Jairam Ramesh's tweet, he says, and I hope this is played also, today the opposition led by the Congress got the Rajya Sabha adjourned. Is this a matter of pride to get Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha or House adjourned? He's wearing it as a badge of honor. Every minute costs lakhs of rupees. Every hour costs 1.5 crores. It has cost 50-60 crore rupees. Because parliament में नहीं करनी है चर्चा, इनको केवल देना है देश को खर्चा.
Nasir Hussain, I believe he is now connected.
He is not connected to people also.
Okay, Nasir Hussain, he's connected on this discussion now. We'll try and connect with him. Shehzad, there seems to be some problem with his network and the live view that has been sent to his home. So perhaps in another 30 seconds we can expect him to be connected. But the larger question is, you know, the sense that the opposition certainly gets, and they keep on talking about it, is that the Treasury benches do not really reach out to the opposition, that the old courtesies have not been extended, which we saw in the past.
When Mr. Kharge was seated on the side, even on the fact that he should have been seated on the third row, he was seated on the first row on the side, they were offering him to come to the center. Forget all of that. Har Ghar Tiranga program, is it a BJP program? It's a national program. They are opposing it. If we tomorrow tell these people that oxygen is good for health, I am telling you Mr. Nasir Hussain will catch his nose and he will say, I am stopping breathing, Modi ji is forcing me to breathe. Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. Who are we celebrating? Sardar Patel was from Congress party. All these great leaders were from BJP. So this program has any Congress leader. Now we are going to be joined by a member of parliament to ask him if he has put one tweet for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. He has not done it. And what did they do? For the election of the 15th president, Draupadi Murmu ji, a historic moment that we witnessed today, they called her somebody belonging to evil mindset. So this is the culture of the Congress party. They can only fly the flag of one Parivar. They believe in Parivar Tantra, and therefore they abuse all institutions of Lok Tantra. Supreme Court ko abuse karna hai, Army ko abuse karna hai, Sansad ko abuse karna hai, Sansadiya Paramparaon ko abuse karna hai. At your show only I had shown that the expunged word list was there from so many years, but they made an issue out of it. The Dharna ban, so-called Dharna ban, was some notification that was given even in 2009, 2014, but they were making an issue out of it. So this is muddon ki kangali.
Okay, I think another 20 seconds, Shehzad, you'll have to speak before I get him, and then I would give him a major part of the show for him to for him to make his point.
Major part of parliament also to discuss, provided they want to discuss. Let's see the other issue they've taken, the issue of GST. That GST council had opposition members and ministers. Not one person in dissent has given in writing in dissent. So I am asking, government of Rajasthan representative was there, government of West Bengal representative was there. Did they give anything in writing that we do not agree? So these are all manufactured issues, tax-free hypocrisy and fact-free allegations that is coming out from the school of Jairam Ramesh, and therefore that is happening every night and every day.
Okay, Nasir Hussain, if you can hear me now, if in 2012 there was no disrespect to LOP Arun Jaitley then during the swearing-in ceremony of Pranab Mukherjee, then how did it become disrespect today, not commensurate with the position he holds as the LOP, which is the current LOP, that is Mallikarjun Kharge? Nasir Hussain, sir, if you can hear me. Mr. Nasir Hussain, if you can hear me. Okay, there seems to be some problem with that line again. I'll ask my producers to fix that. But the larger question being raised here is that was it really necessary for the Congress and the entire opposition, because they did get support of the TMC also on this letter, the TMC which is now decided that they will be not voting for Margaret Alva, is standing with the Congress party on this letter that was written by Jairam Ramesh to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, saying that Mallikarjun Kharge was in fact shown disrespect during the swearing-in ceremony of the current president, that is Draupadi Murmu. Shouldn't this have been avoided? Why have this kind of controversy and needless controversy completely? Yes, Shehzad.
Maria, you know, what we have witnessed today, like I was telling you in the morning, is the reclamation of the republic from power elites and Luthians to the people of India, whether it comes from some place in Gujarat or from some place in Odisha. But today, what is the major issue for Congress? Humko wahan par kyun bithaya? Their issue is not the fact that they were witnessing a historic moment of an Adivasi Mahila becoming the president. What is their issue? Humko wahan par kyun bithaya? Their issue is what? When ED investigates Sonia Gandhi, how dare any agency question our leader and our queen? This is the mindset, this elitist mindset. People have rejected it. And today, while India was making history, these people are trying to become history by saying that we only bothered about where you put us to sit.
I'm hoping that Nasir Hussain is finally through. Nasir Hussain, Shehzad Poonawalla has leveled a number of charge against the Congress party. My question is that if in 2012 there was no disrespect to Leader of Opposition then, Mr. Arun Jaitley, during the swearing-in ceremony of Pranab Mukherjee, when he was placed in the same place where the current LOP sat, then why make it such a big issue?
Maria, I don't know about the seating arrangement then. I don't know what had happened then. It clearly, what was seen today in this government function is clearly that protocols not only of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, even Mr. of Ashok Gehlot, who is the sitting Chief Minister of Rajasthan, were violated. There were people who were not in the protocol list who were sitting in the front row. There were deputy chief ministers who were not in the protocol list who were sitting in the first line. You throw a person at the entrance of the hall who is supposed to be at the center, a person who is the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, a person who has been in the legislative, who has been as a legislator for past 50 years, just because you people are in power, and you don't allow him to speak whenever he stands in the Rajya Sabha. You don't give him to speak when he gives notice according to Rule 267 in Rajya Sabha. But the norm in the Rajya Sabha is that anybody who gives a notice, not only the LOP, anybody who gives a notice, he is first allowed to speak. Here the leader of the opposition stands to speak and he wants to tell the House and the chairman that this is what the notice is about. Then you don't allow him to speak. And whenever there is hangama, whenever there is sloganeering, whenever there is pandemonium in the House, when he tries to get up and make a mark, you don't allow him to speak there. And you violate all protocols. People, those are not even MPs, sit in the first row. So this is how you conduct the business. This is how you conduct a government program as important as the
Nasir
ceremony of
the point being made here is that the opposition is looking for needless controversy. They are looking for issues to needlessly indulge in confrontation when this is not the case. Look at this warrant of precedence. It clearly talks about the place where Mr. Kharge was sitting today was the place where Arun Jaitley sat in 2012. The opposition then did not raise this. They did not make it an issue, sir.
Maria, I am not bothered about what Bharatiya Janata Party and its spokesperson is saying today. What we try to communicate to the chairman of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha is just this. This is not done. This is how you are behaving with the LOP. He has to be respected. He is in a constitutional position. He has to be given time in the Rajya Sabha and he has to be given enough importance and respect which he deserves according to his protocol. And the protocol is not made by the opposition party or the Congress party. Protocol is decided and is a government order by not less than the President of India.
Yes. The protocol, because I have the warrant of precedence, actually says that is the place where Mr. Kharge sat, is the place where LOP sits. So what really is the problem, sir?
No, you tell me. I have the protocol list in front of me. Number 1 is President. President was sitting on the dais. Number 2 is Vice President. Vice President was sitting on the dais. Number 3 is Prime Minister. He was sitting there down. Governor of the states, none was there. Former President except Pratibha Patil, ma'am, nobody was there. Deputy Prime Minister, we don't have a Deputy Prime Minister. Chief Justice of India, he was there on the dais. Cabinet ministers and leader of opposition should be there in the first row.
Okay. Nasir Hussain.
And in front of the, you throw
Nasir
him
Hussain,
near, you
what
throw
the-
him near the gate.
Shehzad-
you throw
Shehzad
him near
here-
the door of you throw him near the entrance of the hall.
Okay. Shehzad here
Such a
is
senior
saying.
leader
Okay,
who
he-
has been there on all important positions till now.
Okay. He says
And
the
you throw a
BJP.
Chief Minister in fifth row.
Okay. The BJP
And
here.
Eknath Shinde can sit in the first row and Ashok Gehlot is thrown in the fifth row.
Okay.
Can I speak?
Yes. 30 seconds, and then
Maria,
I'll give the final words to
Devendra
Nasir Hussain.
Fadnavis,
Sure.
Deputy Chief
You
Minister
can-
of his
May-
state, can
but we
sit in the
can-
first row.
now I've
and you don't
indulged
give a
him.
place to Ashok
No,
Gehlot.
no. The point is, why was Ashok Gehlot given a place in the fifth row?
Maria, first of all, there is a protocol that's set and nothing has changed. Just like that expunged
And how
word
do-
list.
see,
Now,
Devendra
Maria,
Fadnavis
this
sits in
is
the
right
first
to
row.
interruption and disruption can't be given on your show. They do it in Parliament on a daily basis. At least here, we should have the courtesy to respect each other's space. and
That we have a right there.
Mr. Nasir Hussain, please try to behave as if you
Okay,
deserve
go ahead,
honorable
go ahead.
as a prefix. Thank you. At least pretend.
Go ahead,
At least
go
pretend
ahead.
to
Go
deserve
ahead,
honorable
go ahead.
as prefix. Thank you. Now, see, Maria.
No, good. Go ahead. You go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
Thank you. I don't need your permission, Vaise. The thing is, Maria, that look, there is a
Please go
protocol.
ahead, yaar.
I have
Please go
shown
ahead.
you. I have
Please
shown
go
you the
ahead.
protocol and I have shown you picture and visual evidence. But this is the same fact-free allegation they made about the so-called word ban list. That was an expunged word list that was decided by the Assembly. The Dharna ban, you remember that order was given right from 2009. They created an issue suddenly this time. So I am saying that only thing is that today, half an hour they had on your show, which is watched by millions, the time they choose is ki mujhe kahan baithaya. You know, in Delhi, I've been living for 10 years, you've been living longer. There's this culture, mera baap kaun hai? Janta hai mera baap kaun hai? Mujhe yahan pe aane de, mujhe ghusne de, mujhe baithne. This is the kind of attitude Congress as a leading opposition party wants to reflect. Instead of taking up people's issues, they are saying that we are not about people's issues, we are about protocol issues. And that also has not been violated because here you have the picture black and white.
Okay.
The only thing,
Nasir
there's only
Hussain.
one difference. There's
Nasir
one
Hussain.
difference.
Nasir
There's one
Hussain.
difference.
Nasir Hussain.
There's
Let
one
him.
difference, Maria.
Yeah.
One difference.
Nasir Hussain. Nasir Hussain.
The
Yes.
one difference is...
Nasir Hussain. Yes.
Okay, chalo.
Yeah. GST on dahi, doodh, छाछ, लस्सी,
Your
food,
finance ministers were there और ये लूज पे नहीं है, ये रीलेबल्ड और प्री पैकेज पे है जो आपके समय पर वैट ज्यादा लगता था उस पे.
Diesel, petrol,
You have not cut a rupee of VAT on diesel and petrol in states run by you. Maharashtra, you cut it on imported liquor, not on petrol. Eknath Shinde ji and Devendra Fadnavis ji did it.
People's issue नहीं है. चाइनीज घुस के घर में बैठी है.
चाइना घर में घुस के बैठा, आपका चाइना के साथ एमओयू है, दिखा दीजिए अभी लाइव टीवी पे एमओयू कौन सा है. MOU दिखा दीजिए आपका चाइना के साथ. You have changed 3 issues right now. Take one issue, we'll discuss it.
If the government has the guts, then let them come and discuss in the parliament.
We are happy to. Why don't you come to parliament and discuss instead of doing dharna? Why don't you come for samvad instead of vivad? Why don't you come for conversation instead of
Okay,
confrontation?
I'll give the final words to Nasir Hussain because he joined it late. Nasir Hussain,
Nasir Hussain,
was this a needless controversy?
Let him go and check the records of the parliament of both the
Sir, you
houses.
are a member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha. Was this a needless controversy?
Why needless control? I think it was well within our rights to bring it to the notice of the chairman of Rajya Sabha about the dignity, about the protocol, about the respect of the leader of opposition that has to be given in all government functions. And this is what happens. This is what is done by BJP MLAs, MPs, chief ministers when they are not given protocol in their respective
5
states.
seconds.
This is
Just
what
5
every
seconds.
MP,
No,
every
Shehzad,
MLA, every
you have had enough of 5 seconds. The final words for Nasir Hussain. No. Okay, no, let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Today the protocol has been violated and we are just given a simple letter to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha reminding him of
So
the
will this
protocol
be
of
an
the
issue
LOP.
that the Congress party will be delving on even tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
Our letter is very clear.
Okay, fine.
Our letter is very clear. We brought it to the notice of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. We said this is you take this as a protest from the opposition parties. All opposition parties have signed it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Nasir Hussain and Shehzad Poonawalla. We have come to the end of this discussion. We are slipping into a short break. After that, an exclusive conversation with Dr. Gagandeep Kang on the entire fear around monkeypox.